The dusty drawer in Mrs. Agatha Weatherby's old oak desk hadn't been opened in decades. Everyone in the little village of Willow Creek knew about it. Or thought they did. They whispered about forgotten treasures, lost deeds to vast estates, or perhaps scandalous love letters from a bygone era. Agatha, now well into her 80s with silver hair like spun moonlight and eyes that held the quiet depth of a forest pool, moved through her small, book-filled cottage with a gentle grace. She'd lived a life of quiet service, caring for others, but always carried an air of unspoken longing. The children delivering groceries would glance curiously at the locked drawer, wondering what magic or mystery it concealed, fueling endless playground speculation about the peculiar brass key. Agatha, sometimes polished absently while gazing out at the rain. Agatha herself held the key. Often it was cool and surprisingly heavy for its size, intricately patterned with swirling designs worn smooth in places by the constant, tender pressure of her thumb. Over countless years she'd found it nestled in a tiny velvet pouch tucked inside her mother's wedding band box. A silent bequest with no explanation. Her mother, a woman of few words and many sorrows, had only murmured, "For when you truly need it, my heart." On her deathbed, Agatha had spent a lifetime wondering what profound door this key would open. She imagined hidden rooms revealing family secrets, chests overflowing with jewels that could change her simple existence, or perhaps a gateway to a place where her deepest, most private wish, whispered only to the stars, might finally be realized. The key represented hope deferred, a promise hanging perpetually just out of reach. One crisp autumn afternoon, with golden light streaming through the leaded windows and painting patterns on the worn rug, young Elara, Agatha's bright-eyed granddaughter, sat cross-legged on the floor. "Grandmama," Elara asked, her voice soft with innocent curiosity, "what does the special key open? Is it a pirate chest? A magic wardrobe?" Agatha looked at the key in her wrinkled palm, then at the drawer, then at Elara's expectant face. A lifetime of yearning, of guarding this singular mystery, crested within her. A profound weariness settled over her, mixed with a flicker of resolve. Perhaps it was time. Perhaps the answer, whatever it was, would finally bring peace. "Let's find out together, my dear," Agatha whispered, her voice thick with decades of anticipation and a tremor of fear. The moment felt monumental, heavy with the weight of all her unanswered questions. With Elara watching, breath held, Agatha knelt stiffly before the old desk. The brass keyhole seemed to gleam in the afternoon sun. Her hand, usually steady, shook slightly as she inserted the key. It slid in perfectly, as if it had been waiting for this precise instant. A soft, resonant click echoed in the quiet room. Agatha turned the key. The mechanism inside the drawer gave a sigh, a release of tension held for generations. Slowly, carefully, she pulled the heavy drawer open. Dust motes danced wildly in the sunbeams. Both Agatha and Elara leaned forward, peering into the revealed space. There was no glint of gold, no crackle of ancient parchment, no soft gleam of pearls. Instead, the drawer was utterly, completely empty. Not a scrap of paper, not a forgotten trinket, not a single coin. Just bare, smooth wood, darkened slightly by age. Agatha stared. A profound silence descended, broken only by the distant call of a crow. The hope that had warmed her for 70 years drained away, leaving a cold, hollow ache. A single tear traced a path down her weathered cheek, landing silently on the empty wood. "Nothing," she breathed, the word tasting like ashes. "It unlocks nothing." Elara watched her grandmother's shoulders slump, saw the light dim in her eyes. She felt the crushing weight of disappointment filling the small room. But where Agatha saw emptiness, Elara, with the unclouded vision of childhood, saw something else. She saw the smooth, cared for wood inside the drawer, polished by time and secrecy. She saw the intricate key, a beautiful object in its own right. Most importantly, she saw her grandmother's profound sadness, the shattering of a lifelong dream. Without a word, Elara crawled closer and wrapped her small arms tightly around Agatha's thin frame. She rested her head against her grandmother's chest, listening to the slow, steady beat of her heart. "It's not empty, Grandmama," Elara murmured, her voice muffled against Agatha's shawl. "It was full of waiting, full of wondering." That's something very big and the key. It let us finally see the simple, profound truth in the child's words began to seep through Agatha's despair. Agatha held Elara close. The warmth of the small body a stark contrast to the cold emptiness she'd felt moments before she looked down at the key still clutched in her hand, then at the bare drawer, and finally at the earnest face of her granddaughter. Elara was right, the drawer hadn't held gold or deeds, but it had held her deepest hopes and quietest dreams. It held decades of anticipation, the silent companionship of a mystery, the fragile belief that something wonderful was just out of sight. The key hadn't opened a chest of riches. It had unlocked the culmination of that long, patient vigil. It had opened the door to this very moment of shared discovery, of vulnerability, and now, unexpected comfort. The physical emptiness revealed a different kind of fullness, the weight of her own enduring hope and the pure love offering solace. In its wake the ache didn't vanish, but it softened, transforming into a poignant acceptance. Later, as twilight painted the sky in hues of lavender and rose, Agatha sat in her favorite armchair, Elara curled contentedly in her lap. Fast asleep, the old key rested not in the drawer, but on a small silver chain around Agatha's neck. Cool against her skin, she gently touched it, no longer a symbol of a locked-away future, but a reminder of the precious present. It represented the end of a lifelong question and the beginning of understanding. The key hadn't unlocked a hidden fortune or a secret passage. It had unlocked her heart to the simple, profound treasure she already possessed, love embodied in the trusting child asleep in her arms. And the quiet peace of a question finally answered. The mystery was solved, not with fanfare, but with a whisper of truth that settled deep within her soul. She kissed Elara's forehead softly, gazing out at the first stars appearing in the darkening sky, feeling a strange, quiet gratitude for the key that unlocked nothing, yet somehow, everything that truly mattered. The cottage, filled only with the sound of peaceful breathing and the settling of old wood, felt profoundly, perfectly full.